Well, welcome to the start of 2021, Richmond Gardens Club's virtual garden tour. We're starting at Kate Herring's house and garden, and we're delighted on this not so hot day to tour her garden. It's just gone through extreme heat, so maybe we'll get some tips today from Kate too on how to deal with it. Yeah, welcome to me and Kathy.
Yes, hello, Kathy.
Thank you,
Linda. Well, tips on extreme heat. Well, I must admit I ran out with a couple of umbrellas during the extreme heat because this area is my shade garden and it's not used to getting pounding temperatures. So I used the umbrellas just to shelter things. But even then, a couple of things got black leaves, very crispy leaves. Other things were sort of just flopping in the heat. So morning and evening I was watering, which was the main thing. And as I say, trying to provide some shade for those things that weren't so hardy. So Kai is my helper, my dog. This is Kai. He's a little shy, so
yes.
He's Shy Kai. We're standing near the burbler, which I just like the sound of the gentle sound of the water. The butterflies come and land on and drink from the little crevices. The bees do, the bumblebees. And then behind you we have a bird bath as well.
Which is very important during the
heat
hot,
of the summer. Yes, it is. Yes, we have regular visitors to both.
Yeah.
So which is very nice.
So you're standing under...
I'm standing under a pear tree that's been here a very long time. We've lived in the house 25 years. And this tree was here when we came. I give it a heavy prune every year because I like to be able to reach the crop. So this is my shade garden, and a lot of layering going on, as you can see. The big Hosta has a pot of phylum underneath, which is the spotty leaf one. It's called Spotty Dotty, so it's not
Spotty Dotty.
Spotty Dotty.
Yeah.
Not hard to remember. The Hosta is Empress Wu.
Wow.
And she has, as you see, gigantic leaves.
Yeah.
And above that is one of my hydrangeas. That's it's actually a paniculata. So they tend to have more cone-shaped flower heads. So that's a paniculata. The one over here is a lace cap. It's just coming into bloom, and you can see it's a little bit blue. A little unusual in that it has black stems. Next to it is a Japanese maple called Floating Clouds. Needs quite a bit of sun protection too because of the pale colour leaves.
Yeah. Got some ligularia.
Yes, on the far right, the dark leaves is the ligularia. That's one of the ones I had to protect with an umbrella because it doesn't like too much sun. And next to it is one of my miniature conifers, and this is called curly tops.
Wow.
It's a Japanese white pine. So
and it stays green all winter. It's a coniferous?
It's coniferous, yes.
Wow.
It's coniferous.
Almost looks deciduous.
No, that one's behind it is a deciduous Daphne.
Yeah.
Daphne mesoreum, and that is a February Daphne. So that blooms in February on bare branches, pink.
Wow.
Very fragrant.
Oh, yes.
And I have both of these. I have this little area here, which is what I see from my kitchen window.
Yeah.
And hidden underneath, I have some hellebores.
Oh, yeah.
This time of the year, they're not very prominent, but I have several hellebores around this area, over here, and hidden over here. And they're different colours. I think this one is a peach, this one is a pink, and that one is a beautiful ivory white colour. There's another hydrangea there. That one is Hydrangea cursifolia, which means oak leaf hydrangea, and it has the cone shape, and that one is snowflake, so it has a double flower. This is beautiful. Isn't that unusual? Yes, that one I've had several years, and it's just starting to fade now, but it's full of those great big cones, and that's a bellflower. Yeah, different kind of bellflower. Wow. So,
and this is a
both,
phylactery?
Both of these, yes, two thalictrums. The one at the back has just finished flowering, and that's sort of mauve.
Yep.
Then the one at the front is much smaller. That's a white one. What has suffered is the pink hydrangea next to it. You can see how small the flowers are, so that's not going to flower very much this year, I don't think, because it got the brunt of the heat.
Yeah.
And I've got calla lilies that are just finished, and Itea.
Itea?
Itea, I-T-E-A, Itea. So that one happens to be a climbing one, but those green tails will go waxy, tiny little waxy white flowers, highly fragrant. And then of course this is a Japanese maple, one of the full moon varieties.
So, here, this looks like a hydrangea.
It is, it's a miniature hydrangea. Again, it's suffering from the heat a bit. So that one's only meant to grow about 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
You can see it's quite young. Again, it's meant to be a paniculata, so the cone-shaped flowers.
Yeah.
Not doing too well this year.
No. Looks pretty though.
It looks okay, yeah. Well, I leave it in the pot and then it gets annuals around it. So,
which shades its roots, I guess.
Yes.
So this sort of looks very Japanese, very almost like an Asian garden.
Yes, a little bit of Japanese.
This is a Japanese maple?
This is a Japanese maple.
Wow.
It's a snake bark, so it has the striations on it, but it's also an unusual colour. So it's Phoenix is its name. I guess it's kind of appropriate because it goes a really peachy pink colour in the cold of the winter.
Oh,
so against the dark hedge, it really glows.
No kidding.
And I've got it positioned just so I can see it from my kitchen window again.
Yeah.
So it's only the second year I've had it, and as you can see, it's also
stressed, but
suffering from the leaves are a little bit burnt. So
during the heat,
lots of water.
It was just pouring the water on.
Yeah, pouring the water on morning and night.
Yeah.
And I have the bottom doubly protected from the weed whacker.
Yes.
Because you don't want the weed whacker, scarring the bark and stressing the tree.
Well, I've never seen that. Beautiful.
So, yes.
Wow.
Don't have room for a lot of trees, but you know, if you have fairly small ones.
Are these fruit of some sort?
Those are both pawpaws.
Oh, pawpaws.
Yeah, those are pawpaws.
So breadfruit, right?
Yes.
Do you get any?
Well, this one for the last 2 years, this one has started to flower.
Yeah.
But this one hasn't flowered, and they're meant to cross-pollinate.
Oh, I see.
You're meant to have 2 types.
Yeah.
And they're meant to cross-pollinate, but because they're not, this one is younger, it doesn't seem to be blooming yet.
Oh, it's not.
So I'm just waiting.
It's not quite the partner that it needs right now.
It needs a flowering partner, and yes, I haven't quite got. This one had a huge knock when we knocked down the big tree that used to be here.
Oh, yes.
And so it was nothing but a little stick.
So you're happy.
So I'm happy it even survived that.
Yeah. And then you've espaliered a...
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, this is Northern Spy apple. I should have done a June pruning on it, but I didn't get around to it. So usually I prune it twice a year. And usually the June pruning is just to take off some of the long branches so that the apples can get more sun. As you can see, there's quite a lot of apples.
Yeah.
And we do get a good crop. It's a good eating apple.
Yes.
But they don't keep.
They don't keep. That's right. That's why you don't see them much in the market.
No, that's right. They're not keepers, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So,
is it too late to prune those now?
I probably, it's only barely just July.
That's true.
I probably could.
Yeah. And you never prune during an extreme heat wave, right?
No, you don't want to
Because you
put
don't want to
extra
stress.
stress.
Yeah.
You don't want extra
Yeah.
stress
Yeah.
on anything.
Yep.
No. And I tried to say to people, you know, establish the tree, establish the bush first.
Yeah.
The first year, do not prune it. Just let it get its roots.
Yeah.
Water it well, establish the roots, and then think about it.
Yeah.
So this is my husband's little garden patch. So
Lots of garlic.
lots of garlic. We've just been making garlic scape pesto.
Oh, yes.
We've got broad beans or fava beans. We've got
Yep.
lots of different types of salad greens. We've got
Yeah.
bok choy, rhubarb.
Asparagus, I guess, going in next year, is it?
Maybe next year.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Lots of garlic. And
Yeah.
I guess the deal is, from what I understand from the experts, is when those leaves go down to about 1/3, they're browned down to about 1/3.
Yes. So
Then you
usually
harvest.
around October we harvest the
Oh,
garlic.
you harvest in October.
Usually. Usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't wait.
Well, we found that you get really lovely big bulbs.
Yes.
And there's my husband's cold frame, but yeah, that's a climbing hydrangea.
Oh,
Very slightly different leaf because you can see it's got that kind of
Yeah.
almost a ghost leaf
yeah.
overlay.
Yeah.
So that's a different type
Yeah.
of the normal one.
And then a honeysuckle.
Oh yes, that's a very old honeysuckle.
Yeah.
And I propagated that many times for friends.
Oh.
It's very easy to propagate.
Yeah.
The hummingbirds love it, of
Yes.
course. The compost is right next
Right
door,
next
which is
door.
lovely.
So, the smells that are just mixed in. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
This is what I call my work area. This is the
Yeah.
potting bench that my husband built me.
Yeah.
And so when I see a little tiny plant, I pot it up, or I've been trying to propagate some things. So keeping everything going in the heat. I've learned, if I'm propagating things, I've learned to really keep them cool
Yes.
and damp.
Yeah.
So I'm propagating some of the black stem hydrangea.
Oh, good for you.
and,
Rogersia?
yeah, there's a Rogersia that needs a home. If you know somebody who's got damp shade,
Yeah.
it's looking a little burnt again from the heat. But a few
What-
plants.
What is this? Is this a type of
Oh, it's a
an
type.
iris?
No, actually, it's a grass from Argentina. So it's a Sisyringium, which is like, the little tiny blue-eyed grass.
Yeah.
That's a Sisyringium. This is yellow-eyed grass, or I think it's Sisyringium argentinea, but it's very tall. I have a big patch in my garden,
Oh, yeah.
and when it's in bloom, you can see there's a few blooms left here. They are all up here.
Yeah.
This has gone to seed, but
Yeah.
it's just it's just a lovely,
Lovely,
pale
yeah.
yellow.
Yeah.
This is Mimulus Cardinalis, so red mimulus, and it's a BC native.
For heaven's sake.
It makes the most beautiful, huge, big patch.
Oh,
and
so
it-
be a great ground cover?
Great ground cover, grows quite tall.
Or you could
and
do
you
it up
can
a
just
tree
chop
or
it
something.
down. Well, you
Yeah.
chop it down,
Yeah.
but it has unusual leaves, and
Oh, yeah.
the hummingbirds love it.
Uh-huh.
So I must
And
give
is
you
it
a piece
a
of this.
full sun or
You
part
can do
sun,
parts.
part shade?
It does like more sun,
Yeah.
so if you can give it afternoon sun,
Yeah.
but it's a heavy bloomer, and as I said, the hummingbirds love it.
Yeah.
So usually it's not so great in a pot, it gets a bit gangly,
Yeah.
but in the ground, lovely big clump.
Yeah.
This
Oh, yeah,
is-
what's this guy?
This is
Oh,
Clematis montana.
the Montana.
It used to go way longer than it is. Pale pink, fragrant. This year, totally covered.
Oh,
It was totally covered. It's just a
So
lovely,
gorgeous.
lovely display.
yes, yes. Like with my climbing hydrangea. As it tries to eat itself through the, look at your ligularia.
Yes, another ligularia.
Holy
This is my husband's paving. You see
Oh,
the little
so
extras.
nice. Yeah. So this is a nice shady.
This is a little shady spot. So my
Yeah.
son got me the Welcome to Your Garden probably a good 10, 12 years ago, probably even more than that.
Yeah.
And in front of it is Cardinalis, which just self-seeds.
Oh, Cardinalis. That's how you say it.
Well, when I first started gardening, I said
Cardinalis.
Cardinalis, and then I went to a nursery, and they said Oh, you mean Cardinalis. So I
Cardinalis.
had to correct myself.
That's what we do in Pollock Park all the time.
Yes.
Is find out how to really say things.
So next to the Ligularia here, which is a huge, huge leaf, I've got a little tiny Hosta down here. This is a blue mouse ears Hosta.
Oh yeah.
So I like to do juxtapositions, so things that have same shape but different scale. And as you see, big with small underneath. Another climbing hydrangea.
Yeah.
That's the usual one that you most people
Yeah,
see.
that's what we've got around our.
The nice thing is, though, they like the shade, so you can put them on a shady spot.
So graceful.
Yes, yes, aren't they?
Semisafuga?
Yes, Semicifuga. Yeah, they recently changed the name. They reclassified it,
Oh,
so
really?
now if you go looking for it, it's Actea.
Actea. Yes.
A-C-T-E-A. Actea.
Yeah.
This one, I believe, is, if I remember correctly, I think it's black negligee, and then I've got a small blue clematis climbing through it,
Wow.
because I just like the colour
Yeah.
difference.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And next to that is a larch called Little Boogle.
So does it lose its?
Yes,
lose
it's
its leaves?
deciduous.
Yes, deciduous,
It
and
goes
it loses
bright,
its
bright
needles.
yellow.
Yes.
Bright yellow,
And
then all of a sudden you, yeah, that's right, like a waterfall. So it all completely, yes. So, but it's quite an interesting little thing.
Yeah.
A little Dr.
Yeah.
Zeus,
You've
I
got
think.
quite the collection of trees.
Yes.
There's a birdhouse.
There's a birdhouse, yes, up high there, one of my husband's birdhouses with the little TV aerial. Wouldn't be complete without the aerial.
That is so clever. Joe Pyeweed over there.
Joe Pyeweed, yes.
Wow.
Grown
Such-
extremely tall this year.
And it gives such structure to a garden, doesn't it? Just
It does, just straight up.
stand attention.
Yes.
Nice with the lickness.
The lickness, yes.
Very
Yes.
nice. Oh, I see the babies.
Yes. And because I do other artwork and things, there's my table that I made a few years ago.
Ooh, very lovely. Yeah, that's nice. This entrance.
Yeah,
So
thank
you got
you.
a rose climbing up it? No, that's clematis.
That's clematis, that's my rose.
Yeah.
Another hydrangea at the back here, that was another rescue. That was a rescue from a friend's garden when they
I
were
love
taking their house.
rescuing.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I just hate sissy plants.
No.
Lovely plants go to waste.
And it probably says, I'm liking this garden much better. Yeah.
This is a very pretty Spirea here.
Oh, yeah.
This
Yep.
limey green one. It's called Ogon. And very early, just as it's starting to get its leaves, it has tiny, tiny masses of tiny white flowers all over it. It's very dainty.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Semicifuga,
Yes.
now known as Actea.
Now known as Actea.
And that one is Sambucus.
Sambucus.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's Rosa Mutabilis. So the roses are very simple, but they come out this pale yellowy peachy colour.
Yes.
And then as they age, they go into pale pink and then into deep pink.
Wow.
Very vigorous grower. It can get up to 10 feet if you let it,
Beautiful.
which we try not to let it.
Yeah.
This is one of my favourite plants. It's just coming into flower now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've got another one of this type of.
Oh yes,
A
another
bell?
little bellflower down here.
Yeah. Very beautiful.
It's a little tiny one, and if you look inside the bells, it's got little stripy freckling. And apparently when bees look at that freckling, it's like a highlighted runway for them.
Oh.
So they'll just crawl on in there. So it's the same with foxgloves. So
Yes,
yeah.
they have that runway.
Yes,
Look.
yes. Calamintha. There you go. It's come.
Calamintha.
This is Calamintha, the white. And this will be triple the amount of flowers soon. So it's like a white cloud.
Wow.
It's very delicate.
You got your verbena buddhensis.
Yes,
there.
that likes to just pop up.
And this guy here is an oxalis.
Yes, that one's
Lovely
called.
shade.
You can take quite a lot of sun and it will flower, sort of a coral pink colour.
Yeah.
That one's Iron Cross, I believe.
Oh.
Iron Cross. You can tell because it's got a cross on it. Quite easy. And then a pink Monarda.
Monarda. Yeah.
Oh, those poor things. Yes, look how shriveled they are.
Really got
This,
Looks tropical, yet it looks like it did not like the sun.
well, it actually prefers, it needs the shade.
Yeah.
So I keep having to dig up the front ones and putting them back.
Yeah.
It is Dracunculus Bulgaris.
Oh.
Very strange.
Oh, it's got the stinky flower on it.
Snake stems.
Oh, I can see, yeah. And I
Snake
can see,
skin stems.
yeah, I can see a
Unusual.
shriveled flower.
Yeah. There's the shape of the leaf. But of course these are all shriveled now. And the flower is huge. It's almost sort of a long oval shape with a black spathe coming through. And
Yeah.
the back, the ovate shape is a sort of deep purpley black almost.
Yeah.
I put that right next to this because this smells of
Terrible?
rotting meat.
Right.
It only blooms for about 10 days a year.
Yeah.
But I keep it because I love the leaves, I love the stems, the speckling on the stems. And I've got it right next door to my Daphne.
Yeah.
So I just don't open my windows for a few days when this is blooming. But then I've got the lovely smell of the Daphne right next to
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And you can see how the Cardinalis is filled in the back
Oh, yeah.
over there.
Cardinalis.
How big it's grown.
Yeah.
Just because it's found a nice shady spot.
Yeah, it loves to be beside the stinky plant.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then next to that is Fothergilla.
Oh,
The-
Father Gilla.
The bluey
Yeah.
the bluey leaf.
I've never seen that. You see, she used to work at Phoenix. Perennials.
Perennials. Yes, yes. I still do occasionally.
Yeah.
But this had again the spring flowers. They're like little white fluffy puff balls.
Right. You see them
Very
in Van
interesting.
Dusen.
Yes.
Yes.
And then it has a lovely autumn colour as well. So
wow,
it's got
Father Gilla.
very different.
Wow.
Yes. And we continue.
And we continue.
As you can see, I'm a perennial lover. So, yep, my garden is full of perennials.
Yep.
But then I've also learnt that you've got to have structure. So I have trees and shrubs
Yeah.
in amongst. Because if you have all just perennials, everything disappears in the winter. You've got nothing to
You
look
got
at.
nothing. So, you
So
need
I
to-
have
yeah.
a few conifers. I have some interesting trees.
some seed heads.
Some seed heads, yes, that was an allium. I
Yeah.
think that one's called Schubertii.
Oh, Schubertii, yeah.
Schubertii, so it looks like an exploded
Yeah. Beautiful.
firework that's been frozen.
Yeah.
So conifers are important.
Got a lovely
Gaura, yes,
Yeah,
I love Gaura. Again, you probably
just
realise
love it.
I like things kind of light and airy.
And the wind just
Blows them around. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Niphophia,
Oh, yes.
that pinky one.
Yeah.
The fuchsia pink is Niphophia.
And then you've got looks like a tropical, like a hibiscus.
Yes. Now this seems to bloom only every second year. So
Oh, I didn't
Eryngium, well mine does. I don't know if it's normal, but
Yeah.
Eryngium, can I remember the name? Blue steel, is that correct? I can't remember. Something like that.
There's another name for it that a lot of people would know as sea holly.
Sea holly, that's right. Sea holly.
And then I can smell this already.
Yes, the Budlia.
Budlia. There's now an invasive one that's on the invasive species list of BC,
Yes.
but this isn't one of them.
This isn't one of them. This is
No.
actually a miniature one.
Yeah.
So that's as tall as it gets.
Yeah.
Some of the others can get 15 feet tall if you don't prune them heavily.
Yes.
This one is from the series, I think it's called Buzz, the Buzz series. So this is a magenta coloured one.
Now, do you do pretty heavy pruning on this one?
I don't have to because that's as big
That's
as it
as
gets.
big as it gets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6 feet is its max.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that fact tonight.
This will be coming up soon.
That's a white, yes. The
That's a
Japanese
white,
anemone,
yeah.
it's white.
Yeah.
I love it.
That we got that in the park every
Oh,
day.
yes. I do like it. Again, you know, it can get a bit overly large.
Yeah.
But I find if I dig pieces out more or less every year, I can keep it in.
Yeah, because it will spread.
Yes,
If you
it
don't
will.
keep an eye
Bears
on it.
britches.
Yeah, but it's so stunning.
I like this one.
Yeah.
This one is Acanthus spinosus. Spinosus meaning the spiny
Yeah.
leaf.
Yeah.
There is a mollis, which is the smooth leaf, but the flower heads aren't as dramatic.
This is so dramatic. You can't touch these guys.
No, they are kind of brittle and
And
pokey.
prickly. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this guy right here,
Kind of Artemisia.
Artemisia.
You can probably
Almost
smell
looks
it.
like a, yeah, I was going to say, it almost looks like like that curry plant. But
Yes, not quite. Yeah,
not
very,
quite,
very
yeah.
close.
This is interesting.
This is another type of Budlia,
Oh,
Lindsayana, Budlia Lindsayana. And this one, it blooms from the top, and then it just keeps blooming, 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 and it just
Wow.
keeps elongating. So by the end, it looks like you've got
dripping.
flowers dripping out.
So pretty.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't had this long again. This is about the 4th or 5th year.
I got a hummingbird
So
behind me.
oh yeah, they chitter at you.
Yeah, they do. Get out of my way.
Yeah, you guys.
Gee.
So yes, that one, I haven't quite found out how to prune it, but I've got to do some research and find it.
Well, it's certainly graceful in the garden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
different shapes,
Yeah. Wow.
different shapes all the time, you know,
This one right
weeping. Oh yes, now that's another one that suffered very badly from the heat. That's some people call it Jupiter's beard, but that's Centranthus rubus, so it's the red Jupiter's beard. And usually that blooms heavily all summer long.
Oh,
And usually my salvia, that usually blooms.
it bolted.
It bolted and has gone to seed very fast.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about this one, this is Salvia caridona, you can cut
Yep.
it back
And you'll get
and
another.
it will rebloom for you. So that's rather nice.
And it's strategically placed for Bina.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I had to take out quite a few because last year
Yes.
they really overtook
Yeah.
the whole garden.
Yep.
And they
We
started to get a bit
we are
silly.
finding that the sort of the trend today is bunches. So you got plants in bunches.
Okay,
You know, it just
right.
looks fabulous.
Oh, and there's that Sisyringium, the
Oh yeah,
Argentinian
yeah.
grass.
Yes. Well, that would have been pretty.
So it's pretty much gone to seed, but
Yeah.
I haven't chopped them off yet.
Yeah.
It does seed prolifically, so
Yeah.
I do have to be quite vigilant. But
Yeah.
again, you know, when you find the babies, you can just rip them out or give them away.
Yeah.
The same with the aconitum. That had a bad time.
Aconitum. What's that's not.
Monkshood.
Oh, that's monkshood.
This is monkshood.
So that's an earlier one. Then I've got a tall.
yeah.
yeah.
Again, this seems to be quite early, and
Yeah.
it's faded quickly because of the heat last.
Yes. We've got it
last week.
popped up in Pollock, and I thought, I don't remember that being here.
Well,
Remember the later variety, like a later variety?
it can take quite a lot of shade,
Yeah.
and if you put it in the shade, it's a later bloomer.
Oh, okay.
I think because I have mine in the
see.
sun,
Yeah.
so I could try it in the shade. It might give me some.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So you do have to be a little careful if you've got young children,
Yeah.
especially if they're prone to, you know, pick off the flowers and the leaves because it is highly poisonous.
Right.
So if people have got a garden with young children, I say,
Leave
you know,
that out of the garden.
let's not do that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
More lickness at the back because I just
Yeah.
love the colour.
They look so good when they're bunched
Yes.
together.
Yes, when you've got a big
Yeah.
bunch like that.
Yeah. Very nice.
And I'm doing an espallying a fig at the back there.
Ooh,
So that's 2 years
very
old.
nice.
A neighbour just gave me one of their babies.
Yeah.
But I think I might even have a few figs this year. So
Wow.
we'll see. But when that gets bigger, probably the Joe Pied weed will have to find a new home because I'm going to need the space.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. What's this fellow written? Oh, it's a lily.
It's a lily, yes.
It hasn't bloomed yet, or is it finished?
No, it hasn't bloomed.
Oh,
And
okay.
last week, I wondered if it were if the buds were shriveling. So I watered it pretty
Oh,
heavily in the
oh.
heat.
Yeah.
But my little white pine, that's also another white pine, but it's a mini. That one seemed to like all the watering, so
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Persicaria is looking lovely.
Oh yeah, the bees adore
Yep,
Persicaria.
they do.
And
Yeah, and again, that's one that does not look very good if it's 1, 2. You got to have a bunch of it.
you have to have quite a large
Yeah,
clump. And this is my husband's favorite plant. He doesn't take much notice of the garden, but he knows what he likes. And you know, we sit here and we just listen to the bees
Oh yeah.
all summer long. It's just lovely.